Okay guys, got a quick refresher here to answer this question. What is a martingale strategy? Well, if we look at example A, I call this the classic martingale. This is for one-to-one bet payouts. Most players will use this strategy on casino table games like blackjack, roulette, baccarat, or any other table games that produce one-to-one payouts. The concept is easy. Whatever your starting bet unit is, you simply double your bet with each loss until you get a win. Once you get a win, the win payout will recoup all previous total losses, and you will be left with a profit equal to your starting bet unit. So you started with $10 here, so $10 will be your profit on any win. If you started with $25, you would profit $25 for any win. Once you finally get a win, you reset back to bet number one. Now, there are endless reasons to not use a martingale strategy on table games. And you know what? I agree with all of them. The bottom line is this: why risk a massive bankroll on bets that are complete luck and no skill? It really comes down to that. So we're going to ditch table games and shift our attention into the sports betting arena. And right away, when you think sports betting, you know you're not going to be restricted to one-to-one bets. You're not going to have to rush your bets like table games. And you're going to be able to place your bets when you feel you have the best opportunity for a win. And for me, that's what makes the martingale strategy become much more appealing. Not only do I have the flexibility on when to place my bet, I also have the flexibility to focus on different bet ratios. There are no restrictions. All three of these examples can be played with sports betting. Example A, 1-to-1 bets. Example B, 1.5-to-1 bets. Or example C, 2-to-1 bets. And yes, as the bet ratios increase, winning may become more difficult. However, the bankroll required to cover yourself on consecutive losses will dramatically decrease. This can be a huge benefit. Okay, so this all looks great. I have flexibility, less bankroll required. Where do I sign up for this? And that's where I'm going to tell you to pump the brakes. Remember, this is still a martingale. There are no guarantees. You will need plenty of patience and self-discipline if you want to have success using this strategy. It's important to remember this. But for those of you who feel you have the patience and self-discipline, let's take a look at this martingale calculator I created. I call it the Marti Sport 7 calculator. Okay, over here on the stats tab, this is going to be your home base. All your progress can be rolled up and tracked here. We got a quick setups and tips down here, so let's start with step number 1. Fill out player A and B. This can be played as one or two players, so just type in your name or names in these two boxes here. You can also rename and update the two player tabs down here. Step number 2, input bet payout ratio. You will only have 3 choices to target: 1.5-to-1, 2-to-1, and your third choice will be 2.64-to-1. I know you're probably scratching your head. 2.64-to-1, really? What the hell? Yep, that's correct. That was my original bet ratio when I created this. I was targeting 2-game parlays on spreads. If you pop in a 2-spread parlay at -110, the payout is 264 or a 2.64-to-1 payout. So I said, you know what? That's where this idea originated. I'm going to leave it in there. Okay, so once you select one of these 3 options, we now move to step number 3. You and your buddy need to decide how much combined bankroll you want to put into this. Once you figure that out, you plug it in right here. Now you both have 50% of the total bankroll. After you have these 3 steps complete, you're ready to start placing bets. Reference bet number 1 on the Players tab. So if we head over here, we see that this calculator is preset for a 7-step system, meaning you will have 7 chances to win a bet to proceed to the next level. Your total bankroll in play will be distributed amongst these 7 bets. Remember, this is a martingale, but for sports betting. So with a $500 bankroll targeting a 2-to-1 payout, my first bet on this 7-step system would be $15.54. So back over here, the next tip says, place a 1 for wins or losses in the appropriate calendar column. Reference the date and bet number. So if we look at the calendar, I see bet number 1 here and today's date. So with the win, I plug a 1 in here. I notice immediately my bankroll in play over here has updated with the profit. My total wins has increased to 1, and now I am on level 2. Now if I had lost that bet, you plug a 1 in there, and I would see my bankroll didn't increase, and I see the loss update right here. And this brings up the next tip, which is super important. Update your bet number on the stats tab. Increase by 1 with any loss and reset to 1 with any win. Guys, you got to keep yourself organized. So with a loss, we will increase this to 2. I see my bet number 2 box lit up over here. And then on the players tab, I also see it has updated. Okay, let's say you lose this bet number 2. You simply head over here and you will update your bet number again, increasing it by 1. Remember, this only needs to be increased after a loss. But with every win, this gets reset to 1. It's important to stay on top of this, stay organized. So let's put a win in there. This gets reset back to 1. Now we see we're back to level 2. There's our profit. And if we look at the players tab, we see the profit. Our bankrolls increased to 531.08. This 531.08 is now distributed amongst these 7 bets right here. This calculator is set up to roll all winnings into the following level. By doing this, you will compound your profits on every win. This is how we get from a 31.08 profit all the way to a super juicy 596.97 profit. But while we are rolling all these profits back into the system, we're not going to be completely crazy. Another important feature of this calculator are the green profit skim bets. These are bets that allow you to pull profit out of the system. You can see these opportunities pop up every few wins, and with each profit skim progression, the profits get larger and larger. And that's the name of the game. Clear as many of these levels as possible and maximize your winnings. Remember, the players tabs are your roadmaps. You will always know your bankroll in play. You will always know the bet amounts for each level. You will also know the profit you will make for the first bet all the way to the last bet. And finally, you will always know the profit skim amounts for each skim opportunity. It's all here. So now all you have to do is track your progress. Okay, so I'm just going to send this into a simulated win-loss scenario at fast speed so we could see this thing in action. Okay, here we go. As you can see, as the wins and losses are plugged in, each player win-loss totals tabulate. The levels begin to move up. Bet numbers are adjusted for each win or loss. And we begin to see profit skims. And since we keep the entire bankroll in play, with the exception of the profit skims, you can see how this thing really begins to blow up. Okay, so if we stopped right here, we have the current total profit skim of both players right here. This total has been removed from the system. You can put it in your wallet, and yet we still have these 2 bankroll amounts still in play. And as mentioned before, on each players tab, you will know exactly where you're at. Your current bankroll in play, bet number, bet amount, the progress of all your wins, and the current profit. and a running tally of all your profit skims. Easy to read, easy to understand. Okay, so a super quick recap. On the Stats tab, follow the 3-step setup. First, plug in your players' names. Second, set up your bet ratios. You have 3 choices to choose from. Third, set your overall bankroll in play. After you complete these 3 steps, you're ready to start placing your bets. Follow the bet amounts on the players tabs. Put a 1 in the win or loss columns. Make sure you don't forget to update your bet numbers. Let the calculator do all the calculations. Just focus on studying your bets and plugging in all those wins. Okay, if you think you have the self-discipline, if you think you have the patience and are ready to take on a martingale style sports betting system, you can head over to my website, acbettingsystems.com, and scoop it up. I should have priced this thing over $500, but instead I got it at a silly price. Get over there, and I'll see you at the next video.